Pin is here. What is up, everyone? What's up there? What's up? What's up? Getting everything situated real quick. Give me a quick second. No, move that over there. I can leave that there. All right, what's going on? So this is, Trade Talk Tuesday. So I guess I'm going to call this a season premiere. That's what I'm going to call this. So I used to do Trade Talk Tuesday like every Tuesday. I'll come here for like an hour. I'll bring either a guest on or myself, pretty much breaking down the market from an economic point of view as well as a trading point of view on how it's going to impact trader. So I'll let you know that, as well as fundamentally what's going on is what you need to do to go about how to move forward. So I'm back at it. It's been a very long time. I think the last time I was on here was, it had to be probably like sometime in the beginning of the year, if not last year. But it doesn't matter. I'm here. I'm back, and I really want to share a lot of things going on, especially with this war, as well as what Yellen had mentioned yesterday. I also posted it. So if you guys are not aware, y'all can go check out my Instagram video in which I broke that down, because it's a lot. It's a lot going on. A lot of people are really confused about how the war is going to impact your money, but it 100% will, especially if it does get worse. And a lot of things being said that's not gonna happen, but more likely will happen. It's gonna dictate the price of oil, which also will dictate the price of inflation and how things are going to react. So, well, not dictate the price of inflation. I'm sorry. It's going to dictate the price of gas, which will add to increase of inflation. So, a lot of things that that I want to really just break down and just really clarify to show you guys how it's going to mess you up. For starters, if you guys do have any questions, feel free to say it anytime. Real quick side note. So, this disclaimer. Anything that's said here is for entertainment purposes only. Do not act on any of these things without speaking to a financial advisor first. And that's pretty much it. So one thing that I thought was very interesting is that Yellen, Janet Yellen, she's the Secretary of Treasury. So yesterday she did an interview, and within that interview, she clearly said that America, we absolutely have enough money to fund another war. That right there is a big issue, and I understand why it was said. So for starters, another thing as well, what I'm going to tell you is, obviously this is my thoughts, but I'm breaking it down so you can understand how the whole game is being played. Because at the end of the day, it's a game in the business, and America is a business. Some people think that's a country, but at the end of the day, every country is a business. Literally, every country is a business. You got to understand how certain things and how business deals are done from country to country. But besides that, so ironically enough, literally today, President Biden requested President Biden requested from Congress that what he's looking to do is get $100 billion, right? We're going to send $10 billion towards Israel because they asked for money as well for help with their military. We're sending money to Ukraine, also border security. So all this stuff, ironically, is being said literally the very next day after Yellen came out and said that we have enough money to fund these wars. And the thing about it is this, and the reason why I'm saying America's a business, because technically she's not wrong. We technically have money to fund the wars, and how we have the money is by printing the money. So right now, America, we have the world reserve currency, right? The US dollar. That's not changing anytime soon. I know you see a lot of people talk about, BRICS is doing this, they're doing that. They're making sure that we're going to knock out the dollar, blah, blah, and so forth. But that's not exactly how the whole thing works. So in reality, we have the world reserve currency. Pieces are being put into play to make sure that, we don't continue holding the world reserve currency, but that's not happening anytime soon. And besides, I know some people saying that it may happen a year, maybe 2 years. Nah, us really losing reserve currency, in reality, it may happen by between 2030 and 2035 the latest. I don't think it will have the reserve after 2035. Mainly because there's a time frame. The time frame of having a world reserve currency, we're really going towards the end of that. But besides that, it's even if we were to lose a reserve currency, it's not going to happen without a war. like America, we're pretty much a bully. But besides that, it's like our greatest strength is the dollar. And the dollar is really backed by our military. And at the end of the day, it's like whatever we say goes. So it's like countries don't want to have problems with us. It's like, listen, you can either use the US dollar or you can have a problem with us. Which one do you want? And they're like, I'll take the US dollar. They don't want any problem because they understand how much money we actually put into the military. I mean, I do know, as of right now, our national debt, the interest that we are putting into that, it has now increased the interest that we put into, not interest, but how much we pay for our actual defense, military defense. But besides that, though, like our military is still top notch in the world. So right now, it's like for us to really lose that world reserve currency, we're going to go into war. And again, people may not want to hear that, but it's just the reality. We're definitely going to go into war to make sure that we don't lose that. But besides that, though, that's not the purpose of me saying that. So back to what I was saying about what Jenny Yellen said. Yeah, so right now, more money is going to be printed for us to really make sure we have the necessary money to go and give out to Ukraine, Israel, and so forth. And again, the reason why I'm saying the business aspect of it, because America has money for businesses that's going to make them more money, or business deals going to make them more money. So as of right now, yeah, we technically, quote unquote, are broke. However, again, if I need to send you $1 and in return, you're going to give me $3, $5, so forth, I'm going to do that business deal. Why? Because it's a business deal. So that's what's going on right now. A lot of it is money laundering, but there are some situations from within in which, like, yeah, we are doing these things, but it's also from like, you know what? I'll send you this money. In return, you're going to make sure I can get your resources. I can get this from you, that from you, and so forth. So that's exactly what America does all the time. Like, this literally what we do. And then on top of that, the reason why we also have different bases around the world is for that purpose alone. So it's like we want to make sure that, like, we can really also just spy and check on how everyone's doing. So it's like, oh, if someone is coming up or they're getting stronger, we need to have an eye on that so we can see exactly what we need to do so we can get forth and stay ahead of the curve. But besides that, though, us increasing our spending to make sure we send all this money, America makes their money through taxation. So a lot of people don't really understand how that works, but literally your taxes pays for, like, quote unquote, everything else. That's how America makes their money. It's other stuff as well, but the number one is from taxation. So when we print all this money to make sure that we have it to send to all these countries, what we're doing, that's taxpayer money. So we're either going to pay that back by an increase of taxation, which means your taxes are going to increase, or we're going to pay that through inflation, which means that it's a silent tax, because that means like your buying power or the purchasing power of your dollar decreases. So that's really what's getting ready to go on. And it sucks because, like, as of right now, we're being told that the economy is a strong economy, but that's not exactly true. Our economy is actually a weak economy. So our economy is built on debt, and it's built on debt that continues to increase. So right now, like, you have credit card debt, it continues to make all-time highs. You have credit card interest rate alone is like north of 20%, which is insane. You have those things added to that, right? Then you also have delinquencies. So delinquencies across the board. It could be delinquencies from credit card delinquencies, auto loan delinquencies, mortgages, all these delinquencies that's coming about. These right now are now going to like numbers that we haven't seen since like 2008, which was the Great Recession. And some of them are even going to surpass that. So a lot of these things that's coming into fruition when it boils down to like how America's economy really is really not great, right? And then we also have the fact that like even a job report that came out, the job report is showing that we have so many new jobs that's added. However, when you really peel it back and you look at the truth, that's actually not true, right? We have so many full-time jobs were actually taken away and lost their job or removed, and a lot of part-time jobs were added. So what they'll do is it can be one person, right? Let's say there's one individual and he needs to have 3 jobs just to make ends meet. They won't count that as one individual that needs 3 jobs. They count that as one individual who needs 3. They don't count that as one individual with 3 extra jobs. They count that as one individual who has 1 job. I'm saying it again. They don't count that as one individual who has 3 jobs. They count that. They do count that as that, which means that if that one person has 3 jobs, that's 3 new jobs. But they need to really point that as that one individual has 3 jobs to make ends meet, but they don't do it that way. So again, just for clarification, I know I kind of said that off a few times. They count it as one individual has 3 jobs. So that's 3 new jobs. So if you think about that, like the average American, they need to have 2 sources of income, but 2 jobs just to make ends meet. So if we're getting all of these new part-time jobs, that's showing that damn Americans, they need all of these jobs, again, just to make ends meet. That's not a strong economy. And then on top of that, our savings is the lowest it's been since 2000. That's not a strong economy. So if your savings are decreasing and all your debt across the board, household debt, all of that is increasing, there's no way in hell as that's a strong economy. But again, as I said, on paper, it looks as if we do have a strong economy, which plays into the way in which people go about like their day-to-day activities. Because again, if we're being told that the economy is strong, we're not in a recession, things are great, I psychologically, I'm going to say to myself, oh, like I'm good. Like everything around me is good. You know, we can keep going forth with it. But that's literally far from the truth. And I just had a conversation with one of my boys as well. And we were just talking about it and saying, like, the thing about this, guys, like the fact that a lot of these memes, a lot of these posts about like, hardship, I'm not paying for this because I'm going to make sure I got enough money for this and stuff, like those like jokey stuff, haha. People are joking and posting it more because they can relate to it. Like people don't post things that they can't relate to. So we got a lot of these relatable posts that's coming about with, people not having money. Those things, there's truth to that. So across the board, it's like another thing, like the government doesn't have to announce that the nation is in recession for you to individually be in a recession. I think a lot of people forget that. But at the end of the day, if you're struggling to make ends meet, if you're struggling to stay above water, paycheck to paycheck, if you're making less than what you're actually spending, you individually, you could be in a recession from that. And again, I'm not saying it's okay because it's not okay, but people ignore that mainly because they see that the government has announced that we are in a full recession, so it's okay to go about doing so. But that's actually far from the truth. But let me go back into what Yellen was saying, because this is very important. I want you guys to really pay attention to this. So again, she's saying that we have enough money to fund these wars, which is not necessarily true. How can I join your team? The link is in my bio. You can literally go, click on the link in my bio, go to handsomekele.com, and literally all the information for you to join Discord is there as well. But continuing from what I'm saying in reference to Janet Yellen and what oil and how it's getting ready to go rise up. So what's going on in Israel in the war over there, that is a big issue right now, mainly because it looks as if more countries are going to get involved, like Iran and so forth. Once they start to get involved, that is 100% going to raise the price of oil. Already, whenever we go into war or like war in general, that raises the price of oil. Why? Because there's a commodity. You do need oil for war. So that's self-explanatory. I don't have to break that part down. But besides that, so it's like commodities alone, they increase. You put money into safe havens. But the fact of the matter is, if oil is going to increase, that means that the price of gas is going to increase. Right now, gas is already damn near $4 per gallon. I believe it's what? It's $3.90. It's $3.92. It's in the 90s. I'm not sure the exact number right now, but it's in the 90s. So again, like you have gas is $3 and let's say 90 cents. $3.90 per gallon, right? Per barrel. Yeah, per gallon per barrel. So that right there, per gallon. That's an issue. So once that starts increasing, that means that inflation is going to increase. Why? Because the main thing that was pushing inflation up that last year, and the reason why it came down, I'll get to that in a second, but the main reason what was pushing oil up, pushing inflation up, was the fact that oil was increasing. So when oil increases, that right there, what that shows is that everything around you is going to increase. Why? Because if it's going to cost me more as a business owner, if it's going to cost me more to ship these goods and services to you, as a business, my overhead is going to increase. So if my overhead is going to increase, I have to raise my prices. So if I'm raising my prices, that means that the consumer who's purchasing my stuff, they're going to have to pay more for these goods and services. So with that being said, like that right there, again, as I said to you, that's going to 100% increase the price of the price of gas as well as the price of inflation. So like literally, like get ready for a shitload of what's going to happen to us. But again, as a trader, obviously we have the ability to buy and sell regardless of what's going on, especially when it comes to oil. I got some students who made a shitload of money trading oil these past 2 weeks as well because, again, the opportunity is present. So besides that, let me go back into what I was saying about Yellen in reference to this whole thing with the war and why, like, again, from an economic point of view, it's going to be great for the country who have money, right? It's like if you're an investor, if you are someone who has, like, let me not even say money, just more about investor, because you don't have to have a shitload of money to be an investor. But if you are positioning yourself to take advantage of these moves, it's going to work in your favor. Why? Because you are making these investments that's going to help you out. That's the purpose of money. The purpose of money is to have money to go out there. It's a tool. Have money go out there and to multiply, make more money. That's all it is. But besides that, like, so there are people out here who are not investing, right? They're just like spending money on dumb shit. And then they get mad. It's so crazy. They spending money on dumb shit and then they get mad. It's like, oh my gosh, like the shit I should have been spending money on, I don't have enough money for that. Woe is me. It's like, yo, if you take a look at where, if you just look at the, like your last 3 bank statements, and you see exactly where your money is going, you have a better idea of like, you know what? Let me cut back on this. Let me stop doing this, right? Let me take more advantage of these things and so forth. Like, we're literally in the age of information, and people act as if like we got these smartphones, and people act so damn dumb. It's like you literally have the phone in front of you. But on top of that, like people, they tend to spend their free time doing stuff that's not really going to help them move forward. And I understand from a point of view, mainly because like people are quote unquote so bombarded with like the shit that's going on throughout the world that they're looking for like a breakaway. So what they'll do is they'll get a breakaway and go entertain themselves rather than getting a breakaway and going to educate themselves. Because if you take the time, that's a bar. I gotta cut that up. If you take the time to go and to educate yourself rather than entertaining yourself, and again, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with entertaining. However, you want to put a cap on how much entertainment you're gonna do and make sure you're doing more education rather than entertainment. Because if you educate yourself more on the things that's actually important, that's gonna help you make money for the long run, as well as understand exactly what needs to be done for you to make more money. Because at the end of the day, it's like you need to make more money. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I don't give a damn how much money you're making right now. Again, inflation is going to continue going up. It's already going up right now. Like month over month is going up again. So, and ironically, gas is going back up as well. So they'll say things like, "Oh well, you know, we're beating the price of we beat the inflation war." That's bullshit. Like what they do is this. Like they'll be like CPI, which is Consumer Price Index. That's inflation pretty much, right? So they'll say like, well, inflation, if you exclude food and energy, shelter, all that stuff, then yeah, you know, inflation is actually down. Yeah, but what you literally just said is if you exclude food, energy, shelter, like what's the main thing that people spending money on? Rent and mortgage, shelter, that's shelter, food and energy, like which is utilities, all that stuff. So pretty much what they're saying is if you exclude the main thing that people spending money on, we're doing pretty good. It's like, duh, like, but not like every person, they have to have a shelter over their head, like somewhere to sleep. They have to have food. They gotta like have light and stuff, Wi-Fi, all those things. So it's like, how can you say if you exclude that, then shit is gonna be good? It's like, it's so backwards. But again, like we live in a backwards society because most people, what they'll do is like, they just so caught up on social media and they forget that like, my motherfuckers are sheep, to be real with you. Like they caught up on social media that they forget that like what's really important in the world. So it's like, it's really insane though. It's really insane. It's like, it's that really never ending battle. Like you're gonna have some people who like, they kind of come up, they, you know, influence others to like, yo, this was really important. However, it's like they don't really give a damn about how they can fix their life. All they care about is like, what can I do to have fun? What can I do to get lit? What can I do to have my 15 seconds of fame? Because if I get my 15 seconds of fame, that means that somebody may find me and I might go make some more money. You notice how the whole thing just wraps around money. That's really most important. Like you fix your money situation and money problems, everything else is gonna fix themselves. But if you guys got questions and stuff, because I kind of went on like a little rant. I had some notes written down, but I literally just forgot to showcase the things that I wanted to talk about with that. But I mean, I can skim through things real quick. No, that's so fine. But yeah, so like in reality, it's like I really want to make sure you guys have an idea of like if we're entering a war, it's very, very likely. I'm not gonna say it's World War III. I'm not gonna be like, you know, fearmonger as well because we're not far away from that, but it won't happen as quickly as other people are saying. There are still things that have to be put into motion for that to come into fruition. But I mean, we're in a war right now. You don't have to have like a physical war to be in a war. I mean, we're in an economic war. We're in a war with Russia, China, so many other countries that we're in a war with. However, like when it boils down to a physical war, no, like we could go financially support Israel, right? And like that's also, I mean, it's wartime, but it's like for us actually get into war on American soil, it may not happen as quickly as social media is making it seem as if it's going to happen. Because again, like at the end of the day, all of this stuff is just business. But it's like you got to understand, if you realize that America is a business and we're going to do things that's best for the business to keep money flowing in, that's what we do. But I actually do want to break down, 'cause I might make this real. In reference to like BRICS and everything, and them like taking over the world reserve currency, again, guys, this is not happening anytime soon. Like anytime soon. If you want to be real, like right now, America, we have like damn near 50% of all U.S. dollars is circulated. That's like, not U.S. dollars, but 50% of the world uses U.S. dollars. And number two is a euro. Euro is about like 19%. So the gap alone from like 50% to 19% is fucking insane. That's the first thing. And then next up, you have the sterling, you have Japan, you have the yuan, and all them stuff is like no one's even touching 15%, damn near 10%. They're not even double digits. So for us to actually leave all that stuff and just like go to another currency, it's not gonna happen as quick as people thinking it's gonna happen. And then lastly, it could be gold, backed by gold. We were backed by gold before, but I think that for us to really get off of gold, that was a way for us to pretty much do what we want. Like it's like, cause like if you're not backed by gold, and then like that's another thing too. Like I see some things going around, like people are like, well, America has the most gold, from all the BRICS combined. That's not true. Like the last time anyone ever seen our gold and our actual gold reserve was in the 80s. So it's like, how do we know that? We can't say that like, oh yeah, we got the most because we said so. It's like, and another thing, who's gonna be like, well, let me go check U.S. gold? Like, if you want to check out gold, we got hands for you. So it's like, do you want these hands? Or you want, like, which one do you want? People be like, all right, you good. Like, I'll back out. So that's what's going on. But besides, let me go back before I lose that train of thought. So in reference to like the world reserve currency and us losing it, I don't see that happening anytime soon. Some people are saying like, hey, we might lose it and replace it with Bitcoin. That's not happening. And I think that people forget that when it comes to Bitcoin, if you look up Bitcoin, it says BTC/USD. It doesn't say BTC/crypto or BTC/anything else. Like Bitcoin is based off of the US dollar. So it's like, better luck with that happening as well. But then again, I digress, because a lot of people here feel as if like, crypto is a whole different thing. You don't know what you're talking about stuff. And crypto is actually not difficult to really break down. It's really simple. But most people, they just don't understand it. But that's because they think that crypto is so like complex. But if you understand that crypto is another form of currency, it gets more simple and you understand how to break it down correctly. But yeah, I really want to like talk about that, because like BRICS is not happening anytime soon. But again, when the day we are in line to lose a world reserve currency, we are 1,000% getting into war. Like, no questions asked. Like, America is not going to lose our power is the dollar. We are not going, that is our like greatest asset. There is no way in hell we are going to be like, oh, y'all want to take the reserve currency? Bet. Y'all good. Take that. It's going to be like, y'all want to take the world reserve currency? Bet. All right, we ready for war now. That's it. We ready for war. It's like, that's just America's a bully, but that's just how we are. So it's like, you got to understand how to operate with these things. And that's also makes it great as a trader, right? Because like, once you deal with your emotions, you have a better intellect of literally how to go about your day-to-day life. It makes trading even easier for you, right? You can avoid FOMO. You can avoid, missing out on moves and stuff. Why? Because at the end of the day, especially with everything going on, like, there's a shitload of money every single day. Like, literally $7 trillion flows throughout the markets every single day. Think about that. $7 trillion flows out throughout the markets every single day. You don't got to aim for like, I got to make every day a 50K a day. Like, you don't got to do that. Like, if you think about it, even like an extra band a day, if you want to do that, like that right there alone can help you out as like from not a trading point of view, but also like from a life point of view. Like, just think about that. What is that? Like 5, 10, 20, extra 20K coming to your household on top of what you're ready to do. That's life changing for a lot of people. But a lot of times traders get caught up with like thinking that I got to make like every day is like the last day. Right? Every day, like every opportunity, I got to just jump in and go forth. And that's not the right thing to do. Like, again, guys, every single day, there's not the same market conditions. So when you understand that, you have a better overall, like, you know what? Today may not be my day. And that's okay. right? Today, the market's maybe moving a lot of sideways. I don't like that. And that's okay. Like, when that happens, you're like, you know what? Let me go about and just take what I leave, or even like take a small loss. That's okay as well. But once you start saying to yourself that I got to win this trade, I got to make this money, I got to win the day, that's bad trading, because like now you're turning a small loss into a bigger loss. Why? Because you're not thinking about the probability of trading. You're thinking about the certainty that you have to do this. And the only thing you have to do is follow your trading plan. And your trading plan is backed by your emotions. It helps you out with a risk tolerance. It lets you know, you know what, when exactly you should get in, when you should get out, when you should wait, and so forth. So it's like, if the market is just moving, I'm not just jumping in. Why? Because I'm disciplined. I'm going to follow my plan. But if the market is moving, I'm just jumping in. Like, there's so much that comes with it. It's FOMO. And a lot of times we have that fear of missing out. Every little inch that goes up or down, we get scared about it, right? And then also, like, with risk management wise, every dollar we lose, we get freaked out. Why? Because we're saying to ourselves that, damn, I can't lose this dollar. I got to pay for these bills. But that's not the proper way to go about doing it. Like, you got to focus on your risk, focus on risk management. But again, all that is backed into your trading plan. But overall, like, I think personally now is the best time to be in the market as a trader as well as an investor. More so a trader, because we have the day-to-day to make the money. But there's so much, like, every single day there's something different. Like, every day. Oil, you got the war going on. You got BlackRock with Bitcoin, like, every single damn day. What indicators do you use? I do not use a single indicator. You don't. Me personally, the reason why I don't is because I mastered how to read the charts candle by candles. So literally, like, the candle's going to let you know what's going to happen. You just have to understand how to read the candles. Once you understand how to read the candles, you have a better idea of what's going to happen. So what I personally use is literally market structure, support, resistance, candlestick analysis. So especially if I were to jump into the markets, I focus based on market structure. So I'm looking for what type of structure are we in right now, uptrend, downtrend, are we coming towards a lower low, a lower high, and so forth. After that, I break down support resistance. What's my current support? What's my current resistance? If this support breaks, what's my next support? If this resistance breaks, what's my next resistance? After that, I use candlestick analysis. So I'm reading the candles. Which one's controlling the market? Where's my reversal coming into play at? Are we on support? Is it holding on support? Is it reversal support? I'm going to go with a buy and so forth. So that's really what I use. I don't use any type of indicators. I don't think you need indicators. I think indicators it's lagging data anyway. But besides that, it's like, you don't need indicators. If you can read a chart, you don't need indicators. Because indicators are lagging. So like, the chart can let you know what it wants to do. Like, that's another thing. Is like, do you need a stoplight to let you know that there's no cars coming in? No, you don't. Like, I mean, that's jaywalking, depending on where you at, but we're in America. Like, so like, if there's literally no cars in the street and there's a green light, there's no cars, like, are you gonna wait for the light or are you gonna cross? So it's like, I don't need the light to tell me that there's no cars coming. Or even like a crossing guard. I need a crossing guard to tell me that there's no cars coming. I can visually see that there's no cars coming. So I can see there's no cars coming in both directions. Like, I'm going to cross that street. So same thing with trading. So like, if you can understand how to go about reading the market, bro, you're going to become a great trader just by doing that alone. But you got to also understand that a lot of this comes with just like your mindset. So we get, like, the main reason why traders fuck up is their mindset. It's not the fact that they can't follow their plan or any of that stuff, but it's like, your mindset is why you're not following your plan. Your mindset is why you're getting out early. Your mindset is why you're not looking at your risk tolerance. All that stuff is beneficial. So if you don't get that in line on a day-to-day basis, you're not going to make this in the long run. You to go. I appreciate that. I think I'm going to go as well. Let's see what else we got. And that's pretty much it. But again, like, I'm not saying this before, but I want to make sure you guys understand what's going on, because it is likely that we could go into war. I doubt we will. It's likely, but I highly doubt it. So much factors have to come into play. However, on the flip side, will we send in Israel and their money? Yeah. I mean, I think that Yellen came out yesterday and pretty much said that, listen, we got the bread to send them money. If we need to do it, we're going to do that. And now today, Biden's requesting for $100 billion to send out. Israel's asking for $10 billion to send it out as well. Like, we're going to give them that money. And again, when we send them all this money, that boils down to, we're going to pay that back. That's taxpayer money. Like, all this money we sending is taxpayer money. And we still haven't seen all the effects of us sending money from Ukraine from like 2022, right? From like mid 2022. We still haven't seen effects from there till now. So that's going to start going to the markets as well, but not just the markets, but also to inflation. And then gas. So it's like, again, when gas starts to increase, and it is right now, it's on a trajectory to continue increasing. When gas increases, when the price of oil increases, gas will 1,000% increase. When gas increases, inflation will 1,000% increase. When inflation increases, that means that the Fed is going to keep rates high for a long time. If the Fed is keeping rates high for a long time, they're going to have no choice but to announce we're in a recession. I mean, we're 1,000% in a recession right now. Like, I don't give a damn what y'all talking about. The data alone shows that, like, there's no way in hell that you have Americans who are in their savings are the lowest since like 2000. You have household debt is like all-time high. You have debt across the board is all-time highs or reaching those numbers. So it's like the average American needs 2 jobs to survive. We're creating more part-time jobs than full-time jobs. It's like all of the data shows us that we are in a recession. So it's like, but then they say like, oh, GDP, shows that we're strength. Like, that's not true. The reason why it shows that is because shit costs more to buy. So if something costs me like $5 and now it costs me $10, doesn't mean that, oh, we have more money we're spending. No, the price of it costs more. So if the price of it costs more and I'm spending more money, that doesn't mean we have a strong economy. Shit just costs more. But again, you just gotta dissect the shit that's being said to us, because like, I tell y'all right now, like, again, I don't want to be fear-monger, like, oh, shit is crazy, but shit is bad. Like, the average American is fucking struggling right now. I gotta stop cursing. But the average American is struggling right now. But again, like, you gotta look at if you're really hurt right now, just take a moment, go like your last three month statements of your bank statements, and just look at where you're spending money. Like, yo, what can I come back on? What can I stop doing? What can I do more of? And then on top of that, it's like I just fully recommend you guys just take a moment to just like review money. Again, I obviously recommend trading because I think it's the best revenue to make money. But besides that, you can do other stuff as well. But you got to do something that's going to bring more money coming into your household, because things are going to get worse and worse. And what you don't want to do is, like most people right now, like we know for months that student loan repayments was coming into play. I saw people partying every day this summer. But now student loans is here. People are like, oh my gosh, how can I pay for this? It's like, we got to like people don't fail to plan, they plan to people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. So it's like, if you're failing to plan for the upcoming thing that you got to pay for, you're going to be like, when that happens, you're going to be shocked and caught off guard. But it's like, yo, you really saw this. You had this notice. Like, it's not as if this came out of nowhere. Month over month, we knew that this was coming. So for you to not plan effectively and say that, like, YOLO, summertime, I got to live my best life, that's backwards living. Because now you're putting yourself in a future issue. Why? Because you want to enjoy yourself right now. And again, there's nothing wrong with enjoying yourself. However, you just got to make sure you're in a position to go about doing so. So if you got to miss out on, damn, like I can't enjoy myself this month by traveling or going out every weekend just because I'm working on getting my life in order, that's not a bad thing. Like, you're literally looking at most people who are like, y'all have no idea what people are going through just to make sure that you can like their picture, just to make sure that you can like what they're showing you. Like, so many people are struggling. Like, the data alone confirms that. And as I said to you at the beginning, when you see a lot of people relating to posts about struggle, that's a red flag. That's not showing you that shit is good. Like, no one's going to be like, LOL, I can relate to that. But they can't really relate to that. It's like so much thing of that is going on. But I appreciate you guys tapping in. I'm back. This is the season premiere of Trade Talk Tuesday. Again, join me next Tuesday, and every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to break down the markets from an economic point of view as well as a trading point of view. Also, I'm going to have guests periodically come on as well. You jump in, tap on that as well. And again, if you need help with trading, if you're looking to take your trading to the next level, join my Discord, TPS Discord. The link is in the bio, or head over to handsomecare.com. And I'll see you guys inside. Appreciate your time. Peace out.